Oh, where's my Zoom? Mhm. Yeah. Oh, no, it's good. There we go.
I can see YouTube flashing.
Oh, gosh, dang it. Yeah. Hold on a second. Why does it do that?
I can see YouTube flashing.
I know. Hold on. This is pissing me off. Justin, where'd you go? There you are. Let me see something. I had to mute. I don't know why it's like playing it back. Um, for some stupid reason. I don't know why it's like playing. Okay, there we go. All right. So now I just got to get it set up on Facebook. We'll figure this all out soon. It won't be so complicated.
Even if it is still complicated, it's okay. We'll figure
Better than not at all, right?
Mhm.
We're still rolling with it. Perseverance, right?
Yeah, you know it.
All right. So, day 5 of our 21-day challenge of speaking our wants.
Mhm. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
You've
How
been
are
thinking
you?
about, I'm good. You've been thinking about your wants or what?
Yeah, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I actually woke up and had a moment because I was thinking of my wants.
Mhm.
And it's not so much about physical, items. More or less, to I want to bring back like family dinners, like families getting together, communities getting together, you know.
Yeah.
I miss that. I used to do family dinners all the time, and for whatever reason, my family wasn't into it anymore. So, um, but I'd like to do that again. I'd like to get back to getting together with family and friends on a regular basis.
I like
Um,
that one. That's a good one.
yeah,
And look, family is what you make it. You know what I mean?
true.
Family can take many different forms. You know what I mean? We're a family. So, I know we're a virtual family right now, but we're a family. Um, so yeah, I like that though. I like wants shouldn't just all be physical things. I mean, yeah, we all want I don't know, we all want affluence, we all want money to take care of, so we don't have to worry about money. We want to take care of our families. We all like all of those things are the same things that everybody wants, pretty much, right? What this, I don't know how you feel about it, but what I feel like this challenge should be is, think a little bit deeper than that. Like, have you ever heard of what is it called? Have you ever heard of the 7 layer why?
I think briefly, but maybe you
So
could go into that.
yeah, yeah. So the 7 layer why uh goes into, so you ask yourself, why are you doing this? And usually people's answer will be sort of surface level. Well, I want to take care of my family. I want to have, I don't want to worry about money. I want to take care of my family and friends or whatever. And so then, so that's your first layer. That's the first layer of why, right? And then you ask yourself, why is it important for you to not have to worry about money? Well, because I don't want to have to worry about bills. I don't want to have to worry about how I'm going to take care of my family. I don't want to have to worry about where we're going to live. Why is it important for you to not have to worry about taking care of your family, not have to worry about where you where you're going to live? Um, all the right. So you ask yourself, why is it important? Each layer, you ask yourself, why is that important? And you get, by the time you get to layer 7, if you're not like on the verge of crying, like you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's digging deeper. No, I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, we talk about this a lot in my women's
Mhm,
Trailblazers group.
mhm.
Bunch of us investors and business women and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Katie, she's freaking phenomenal. But like you'll give an answer and she's like, okay, we need to unpack that and dig deeper. I'm like, what do you mean dig
Yeah.
deeper? It's
Yeah.
pretty vulnerable there. She's
Mhm.
like, no, you gotta go deeper. I'm like, crap, where? Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know
it's
how,
hard to
if
do
I
that.
can.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to do that. It's hard to do that, and it doesn't feel good initially when you're doing it and you're getting to that deeper level. Um, because it's almost like a therapy session, really.
Yeah, it is. It
Because you're
really is.
actually digging into really actually what matters. Not just the I don't want to worry about money, I want to take care of my family. Everybody wants to not worry about money and take care of their family, like normal
Sure.
people anyway.
Yeah.
Um, not everybody is gonna have those two main ones, but for the most part. So you're actually getting way deeper into what you're doing this for. And sometimes you find out and it's hard to make these discoveries. Sometimes you find out there's actual more selfish reasons you're doing it. And if that's what you discover, then you need to reevaluate why you're doing it. I mean,
I don't
there
know.
could
I think
be
it's okay to be
there could
selfish.
be yeah, I mean there could be some selfish reasons in there. I mean, everybody's got some selfish reasons why they're doing stuff, right? But if your core why is inherently selfish, I don't know. I mean, is that going to is that I guess you don't necessarily need to reevaluate, but you need to ask yourself, is that going to sustain you through what's coming? Because that kind of takes me into the next thing I was going to talk about, but is that going to carry you through the really difficult times that are coming? Because they are coming one way or another. And are you going to be able to continue on if that's like your core, your 7th layer why is like just really kind of selfish, then cool, but is that going to sustain you? Um, and if it's not, if you don't think it will, or if you think like it's something that you're going to be able to maybe sabotage yourself and be like, well, I don't really need that. I don't really need to do this. Then it's time to reevaluate because you're not going to put the work in that you need to put in, you know? Again, like I had this hard conversation with my other business partner. Actually, he initiated it, and I'm glad he did because the question is like, look, why are we doing this? Right? Because if the answer is like it's not really important and we're just kind of gonna fly by the seat of our pants, and we need to stop right now. You know, if it's not important enough to do the work and to really do it, then we need to stop right now. Let's just do ourselves a favor and stop right now, because the headaches, the, like, I don't know how your family looks at what you're doing, but I know a lot of my family is like, why would you do that? Why are you doing that? Like, why are you putting yourself through that? Like, you have a decent job, you're making good money. Uh, why are you doing that? Like, it just seems like a lot. You're missing family stuff. You seem like you never have time. You're constantly working on something. Like, you're always in meetings. Like, why? Like, you know? And what they don't understand is like that, yeah, that's all. A lot of that hard yards that you put in the beginning is just, that's in the beginning. Like, it's not, the goal is to not have it always be that way, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's gonna be difficult in the beginning. You're gonna be going through all this craziness.
True. I mean, you're gonna put it in either on your own business or somebody else's, right?
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
I'd much rather us build a solid business that supports our families and others, right? Like, we're not doing this just for ourselves and just for our families. We're doing this for other people to be able to say, hey, they did it. How did they do it? And we want to show people how we did it so that others can, you know, feel less stress, I suppose. Like life shouldn't be always go, 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 make that dollar. Um, the whole point of life is to enjoy life. And if all you're doing is just working, 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 especially building someone else's business, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to be able to enjoy life that way.
Well, or
Right?
you're not gonna like where you end up either. You're just not gonna like where you end up.
Yeah.
That scares me more than anything, is not necessarily working for someone else, but depending on someone else to sustain me.
True.
Depending on someone else's business to sustain me, like, scares me at
Yeah.
this.
It
It
doesn't
really
scare
does. Like,
me, but I never understood, I guess, why I would want to build someone's business, help them, I guess, do work in their business, not build it, right? Because at that point, you're just like an employee. They don't look at you as anything but a worker.
yeah, you're a number, right?
So, and like, I just feel like many of us have more to offer than what opportunities we're given or like see, right? Like, weren't necessarily looking for other opportunities to do differently. Maybe we didn't know that those opportunities were out there, right? So learning that there's more opportunities out there in life and being willing to take those chances and go for other opportunities instead of just, oh, well, I have a guarantee right here. If I go to work with this person for the whatever 40 hours a week at this minimum wage or maybe a little over or whatever like that. Not downing it, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone and take the chance and do something different if we want more than just your average work, work, work to spend and be stuck at home, right? I don't
Yeah,
know about you, but I can't stand being stuck at home. And
yeah.
the only way I'm going to get out of here is by taking a different route and trying new things, taking those risks, probably falling on my face, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I would say, and here's the other thing, is like the work that's involved. Um, I always forget who's, I've heard this so many times, but it didn't actually sink in until probably like a year ago. Um,
It happens.
but people underestimate the actual amount of work that is necessary to become successful at something. If you're not willing to, like, for just example, people who are wholesaling, there's a lot of people trying to wholesale real estate right now because it's low barrier to entry and you can get started relatively quickly. And it's something you can do remotely. You can do it from your home, right?
Mm.
So these are all very attractive things, right, for people, but you don't, if you're not gonna do it the right way, like go work for a team, right? If you're planning on not really building a business and doing it the right way, then go work on somebody's team. If all your goal is to just get good at wholesaling and make some money, as quickly as you can, then go work for an established, go get on an established team, but get ready because you're going to be expected to put in the hours. You're going to be
Right,
expected to put in the work.
right.
And once again, now you're working for somebody else. You can eventually, you know, use that as a stepping stone to do your own business. But once you get to the point where you're starting your own business, if you're not going to do it the right way, if you're not going to be on the BBB, be doing things ethically and be working and putting in the work that is necessary to build out your SOPs, right? Build out training, all of these things that come with it. If you're not going to do it, you're not going to last very long. You're definitely not going to last very long because there's just, I don't know. And again, there's a lot of work and we're not there yet. You know what I mean? We're just not there yet. And it still requires a good amount of work to be done, but that's okay, right?
Yeah, well, it takes time. I
It
mean,
takes time,
I
right?
didn't know anything about much about business or real estate a few years ago. So
Yeah,
I had to learn essentially a new language, right? And
yeah,
new math, not necessarily new math, but I guess to apply it to real estate, right? All of it. So there's a lot to learn. And then along the way you learn there's other things, right? So you could get a little distracted, which is okay. I mean, you know, I I've always kind of been the person that um likes to explore different opportunities and see which one kind of, resonates more. And it has to do with the people too.
oh yeah,
Of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
if it's to better communities and people, in general, that's where I'm going to go. That's where I'm going to focus. Um, Nobody tells you though, like when you are going into business for yourself and learning all of this, everyone thinks it's learning the business, learning um, you know, all of the structure of all that, but really it's about building yourself first. You
yeah,
have to build yourself first.
100%.
But that's where I was when I found real estate. So I was already ahead of game on that part,
You're already
right?
working on yourself and everything.
Yeah, like that's what led me to real estate is I already started working on myself because I knew I had to change quite a few things in my life for my physical, mental, financial health, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's not an easy thing to do, by the way. That is a very not easy thing to do. And it's especially, it's always, what is the thing that you're not doing that you should do? Like that one thing, if you had to like condense it down to just one thing, the one thing that's holding you back that you should be doing, but you're not doing it, that is a really difficult thing to face up to and to change. But if you do change it, that all of the stuff that you want is on the other side of it, right? it's just getting through. And again, like that's why, they say that the best personal or self-help program you could ever enroll in is starting your own business. That's a
Yeah,
fact. That's a fact. Because yeah, it's not the $1 million or multi-million dollars, or $1 billion. It's a person you have to become. So you become a certain person to get a million, and then you have to become a different person yet again to get to the $1 billion stage, right? You're
yeah,
literally like, and it's the people you're around too. Don't get me wrong. It's not just you fixing you. It's being around the right people too that help bring you up. But man, it's a lot of work, but it's, at the same time though, it's really rewarding, and it really does like feel good on the
I
other
agree.
side of it.
I agree.
So it's not all just like grinding and work and awfulness. It's like there's a reason. Like nobody's going to put themselves through this amount of struggle and work if there's not some kind of positive outcome that's going to come from
Reward.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends on how you look at things,
Mhm.
because some people could look at it like you've been doing this for a few years and you have nothing really to show for it, right? Like no physical properties or whatever. But I do have a lot to show for it. I'm no longer in as bad as health as I was. I understand my finances a little more, a lot better. Um, and I've made so many amazing friends and family, like you said, right? I've got new family who is supportive. Um, I've gotten to travel and, see
Yeah.
this many beautiful places.
Yeah. And you're
And
traveling again, right? You're traveling again, aren't you?
yeah, and I'll be traveling again soon. So
Mhm.
the rewards aren't always what we think they are. That's
That's
my
true.
point. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, don't discredit the small things. Like there's a lot in those little things that people
Yeah.
don't realize. So
Yeah. That's a good point. Um, it's not always what you think, and sometimes it's even better than you think,
yeah,
right? Sometimes it's just completely different than what you think, and sometimes it's like even better than what you think. Uh,
yeah.
and also, by the way, how long let's be honest with ourselves here. How long would you say you've really dedicated yourself to this? Like legitimately you said, you know what, I'm going to do this. Like I'm really going to dedicate myself to figuring this out and doing this. Like how long would you say you've really
The last few years.
last couple of years? Okay. So for me, like if I'm really being honest with myself, like I've been in sub two now going on 3 years, right? Just one mentorship for 3 years. I'm in multiple mentorships. I've spent a lot of money and lost money and all of those things. But I've really probably only dedicated myself to this over the last probably year and a half. That's not a lot of time.
Mhm.
That's really not a lot of time. So yes, there are people that come in and they just like take off like a rocket ship, and that's awesome. And that could happen for anyone where that might be even be listening to this, but they did it by putting in the work. At least most of them did. Some people just get lucky. That's just the part of life. Like some people
I don't
just
know if it's luck. I just
right
everybody's got
place, right
their
time.
yeah. Everybody's got their own timeline. Like we're all coming from different like um backgrounds, whatever. So it's gonna be different. We can't compare ourselves.
No, no, you're right. You're right. You're right. And I'm not trying to get us into comparing ourselves.
Yeah, no, but um, so it's like if you know you're not stepping up and doing what you need to do, then that's something obviously you have to work on, right? Um, but you have to see it in yourself. You have to you can't expect others to necessarily tell you what you're doing wrong and, or do the work for you. You have to do it for yourself and ask for help when you need it, right? Guidance, and just keep going. If you really want something, you could do it. It's just are you going to focus on it and really put your all into it? Or are you going to sit back and do minimal work and expect things just to fall in your lap, right?
That is a very long path if that's what you're going to do. There's a very long path if you ever get there. If that's the plan, if we hear people say like, how can I do this with the least amount of work? Well, that helps you to think a little bit smarter about what you're doing. That's great. But the idea is like, you're not going to just not do anything. You're not going to be able to do this and not work. Like,
Yeah,
even what were you gonna say?
there's going to be something that you have to do. Like,
Yeah.
you're not just going to say, I want this, and then bam, here it is. You know, here you go, on a silver platter.
That'd be nice. That'd be
It
nice.
would be nice.
That'd be very nice. But
I've not had
would
that
it though? Would
experience.
it be nice though?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I've always had to work for everything that I've gotten, right? I've had to do something. I've had to do research. I've had to go out there and, you know, talk to people. Like, I don't have a problem talking with people. I've never had a problem talking to people. Um, Large groups of people, yes, but just talking to people, I can do that all day long,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
but it's going to be different for everyone. Where do you want to be?
Yeah. Where do you want to land?
And yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I
yeah,
agree. Everybody's got their own journey to go through with this, and not everybody's journey. No journey is better than the other, and no path is better than the other. It's just it's your own path, and you got to go through it, and but you don't have to do it alone. And I would say that to everybody, anyone who's listening, you don't have to do it by yourself. You can, speaking of like what you're talking about, take audit of yourself. Like look at what you're doing on a daily basis and audit what's working, what isn't working. Get rid of the stuff that's or change the stuff that's not working or get rid of it. Or um, you know, start doing something different. And I mean, I guess you take audit, you look at what's working, what's not working, you change the stuff that's not working or do something different, and then you double down on the stuff that is working or improve that to make it more efficient.
right.
Um, and that's not an easy thing to do either. But this all
No,
comes back to, right? This all comes back to what do you want and why are you doing it? What are your wants and why are you doing it, right? Because that's what's going to help you get through all of this craziness. So,
but it helps when you have good people, that want to do this with you. I never wanted to do any of it. I wanted,
yeah.
to have my family and friends. So
Yeah. Well, you got your friends. I know that your family has like decided that they're not, but that happens, man. Like, trust me, my family doesn't want to do this with me, you know?
well, that's why we found new family, right?
Right, right. Like my brother, I asked my brother and talked to my brother and even my mom about it. And and my girlfriend and dude, nobody wants to they're not interested in what I'm doing, really. At least they don't seem interested in what, and that's fine. That's fine. So
It happens.
you know what? Entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. It can be a very
It
lonely.
doesn't have to be, right?
Yeah, well, it doesn't, but some of the struggles that we go through, you have to go through on your own, right? There are some things that happen to us as entrepreneurs that we have to go, just like the stress, right? Like I don't know if how much you've ever been in debt before, I've talked to people who have been in some serious debt. Like there are some leaders, some amazing people, Keston, Glasgow, um, and others. I'm trying to think of some other names, but if you don't know who Keston is, go look him up. But you talk about being behind the eight ball. I mean, $1 million he was in debt. He owed basically, not having any freaking clue how he was going to do it or what he was facing more than just bankruptcy, right? So that's a really scary place to be. And it's also kind of lonely because you're the one that's on you, you know? Like yeah, you're not alone. Like you have friends and family, but they ain't gonna take that burden on from you. Would anyone in your family take on $1 million debt from you? Hell no.
And I wouldn't expect them
I
to.
wouldn't expect them to. I'm just saying, like, you got to go through that stuff on your own, and you
I've
got.
been doing everything on my own for the most part, so I'm okay with that.
But
Like
that's right, right.
until I found my business family, like my new community that wants to do awesome things all over to help each other and others. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I know now that I'm not alone when it comes to this part of my life, at least.
No, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. It's because it can be discouraging sometimes, and we can do things that sabotage ourselves um, when we get into those spaces, right? In our mind about stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm totally guilty of that. I've sabotaged myself throughout my life numerous times with
I'm
stuff.
sure I have too, even
Yeah,
more recently,
yeah,
you
it's
know.
yeah, yeah. I wish it wasn't the case, but
You get afraid of success, right? I don't know why, but why
that's a
are,
weird one.
yeah,
That's a weird one.
yeah.
I've felt that.
We'll have to talk
Um,
about that more sometime.
yeah. So
Yeah.
let's round this off. So what are some other wants that you have?
I don't know. I just want to be around
What are
positive.
some of the ones we talked about already? So I told you I want peace of mind. I want to never have to worry about moving again unless it's my choice. Um, I want to purchase my family's home back. Um, I want to build a successful business with my business partner, right? Specifically you. So, and others, right, that are a part of it. But right, those are some like what else for you? Is there anything else you can think of? Oh, travel too. We said travel.
Yeah, no, I think that covers most of it. Just family. I want more time with family and friends and travel and bring others together so they can build what they want. I want to see all of my friends and family successful and go after their dreams and
Yeah,
whatnot, have the life that they want.
yeah,
Because
same.
I believe all of us can do it. We can all have exactly what we want as long as we put in that time and energy into the right things, into those things.
And I would say something. I would repeat what Alex Hormozy says. And for anyone who doesn't know who Alex Hormozy is, again, go look him up on YouTube. He's probably got the most some of the most content out there, or some of the best content, business, entrepreneurship, self-help, all that stuff than anyone. But um he would say, that's part of the entrepreneur journey is your that during the beginning, people are asking you why you're doing it. They're saying, well, look, you've been doing this for a few years and you have nothing to show for it. They're right for now, right? That's the answer. Yeah, you're right for now. You're right. I don't have like a million doors. I don't have, hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in every month. Like, for now.
Right, but right now, what we do have is the education, right? And the resources to continue to educate ourselves and get that, those, that guidance
Yeah.
from the people that have already been doing it. We have that, we have access to that, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I think we're on the right track. We both, you know, have had a lot of hiccups along the ways, and we're new business partners together, right? Like we were both kind of somewhere else last year at the beginning of the last year. So we came together later in the year last year. So we have to build that partnership first, right? You don't just like, hey, I like you as because you do this, let's be business partners, right? You have to kind of date around a little bit and get to know people. Are we on the same do we have the same values? Do we want the same type of things? So I think we're on the right trajectory for accomplishing what we want to accomplish.
I do too.
As long as we stay communicating and working together, right? It's a team, it's a partnership, not a competition.
Right.
It's a collaboration,
Right. Yeah, we
understand.
gotta stay true. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, understanding our strengths and our weaknesses, right? That's why we picked each other, right? Because we complement each other's strengths and weaknesses. So I think we have a lot to show for the last year.
I do. Well, yeah, there is. There's definitely, um, there is a lot to show. I mean, God, from a year ago to now, like, yeah, I'm in a completely different place.
Yeah,
So, literally and figuratively. So, there's always something to show. If you put effort into something and you spend an inordinate amount of time, uh, on something, I think I said like 10,000 hours or something, like you don't even have to put that much in. You're putting a consistent amount of effort into something for an extended period of time.
think
There's gonna
cat.
be, yeah, there goes your cat. You're gonna have something to show for it. Like you're gonna have something to show for it. So yeah, we don't compare. We see how we can collaborate, right?
Right.
That's we don't compare in our business. We see how we can collaborate. And then, but you have to continue it. You can't rest on your laurels, right? You got to, you learn something and you don't just get to go like, okay, I learned it. I'm done. It's like, no, no, no. You got to get better at it. And you got to keep, I mean, God, I've read, just as an example, like one book I've read multiple times because like, yeah, I read it and I understood it. But that doesn't mean I really get it. You know what I mean?
Right. I've had to listen, like I like listening to books. Not that I haven't sat down
I
and
do
read
too.
them,
I do too.
but I
Yeah.
like listening to books. And like I've listened to the same book over and over because each time I caught something different.
Mhm.
And then like I know many, many years ago, my mother-in-law actually gave me a book to read. And at first I was trying to read, I'm like, this does not like what is she like? This doesn't make any fucking sense, right? And I didn't like say, oh, well, take your book back, right? I just said, all right, well, maybe not now, right?
Yeah.
Like at the time I had young children, I didn't have a whole lot of time to sit down and read, you know, and it just wasn't, I wasn't comprehending. And so, like, time went by and I picked it up again and started reading it, and a little more like made sense, right? And I've done that with a few different books since then. Like I said, listening to it over and over. You're not always going to understand right away. And it's going to depend on where you are with your headspace, right? With your mindset at the time of what you understand and don't understand,
Yeah.
you know. So All I know is I want to understand many things. So I keep trying. I keep going.
Exactly right. Keep going and keep refining what you want, your why and what you want. We talked about that. I think I talked a little bit about, I'll kind of just end my thought here, but you know, the book, I'll mention it again, the book, The Science of Getting Rich. Go read it. It's not what you think. It's kind of what you think, but it's not really what you think. And the point is you want to have a picture in your mind of what you want. More than just like a fuzzy, but you need to have like a vivid picture of what you want. Like you want to walk through that, whatever it is, walk through the mansion that you want, or be sitting in that private jet and smelling the leather seats and looking out the windows and talking to the pilot or what, you know what I mean? Like you've got to have a visual that is so clear in your mind. And once you have that, then you need to speak it to the universe, right? In a way that is not like you would like, I want this thing, or I hope I get this thing. No, you gotta say it like, I am so unbelievably grateful that I have this private jet that's worth $3 million or whatever they're worth, and that I have a successful business, and then like you say it like it's already there, like you already have it. And it's a really interesting hack. This doesn't mean you don't do work. Doesn't mean you just visualize it and you get it like you were talking about earlier, but it really does. It's a subconscious hack. And what that does is it makes you all of a sudden start to believe that you can get it. Not only believe that you can, but like that you already have it. That you are, it's so attainable that you already have it, right? So trust me, it does work. It does
Yeah,
work. But you got to do it every day. You got to visualize it every day and you got to speak it every day until it really sinks in.
I agree.
So mhm.
Well, let's wrap this up. Have a good one, everyone.
Yep. See you
We'll
guys.
see you tomorrow.
Mhm. For what? 19 more days? No, what am I talking about?
I don't know. We're on day 5. So tomorrow's
16
day
more
6.
days.
So
Yeah.